neighboring nation of Liyue has the most prosperous commercial port in all of Tibet.
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Um,
And a radish veggie soup.
I guess I'll post a commission at the Adventurers Guild.
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Prosperous commercial port in all of Tibet. And a radish veggie soup. Which should I choose?
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Welcome. How can I help you?
I do love Spina di Rosula's logo. It was designed by my mother. Have you noticed how it's shaped like a heart?
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Welcome. How can I help you? Which should I choose?
You're also here from the
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
The neighboring nation of Liyue has the most prosperous commercial port in all of Tibet.
I
And
guess
a
I'll
radish
post a
veggie
commission at the
soup.
Adventurers Guild.
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Oh, oh, oh.
I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus.
I'll go talk to him. At this
Hey, Tainari!
Oh,
We didn't have any.
well, for the exhibition, even so.
Oh!
Not this time, no.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He
Never mind. Apologies, traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got.
Tainari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon. Well, looks like Tainari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around the port in the meantime. Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon's... fine. She's just...
Rainbow roses.
It's... But...
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense. nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out.
Oh, so you're... Paimon is Paimon.
The traveler, right? I've heard...
What happened back...
Have you ever... To put it simply... Well, we're all... But there's no need to worry. Pollen...
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Is everything all right? I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you. Emily? Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival. And I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies...
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she's the one suffering.
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different...
Exactly.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic.
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients
In addition to medicine...
And that's what...
A flower X?
Well, I did...
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right this time.
It's a kind...
August.
In an ancient language, the... Ah, that reminds me. Are you perfume mania? It all started when several merchants released their own. No one anticipated the demand was too the value of these products, but at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product. Luckily, in the end, only a few wealthy families...
What does all this have to do with...
Well, during...
10 million? Then what about now?
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was its namesake, the flower used to create it, indeed. The Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated when the bubble popped.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor.
Traveler, we should help Emily look for it.
I have to agree.
Even if I can look... Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure. But when it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige.
Wow!
Of course, every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own.
Okay, that...
Ever since that room, if I can dispel, then I'll be...
That makes sense.
Oh, I would, of course.
Well, you said...
Based on the information I have so far, Mr. Edgar
I was just about...
Edgar?
the person you've been trying back when he was still working...
I should also mention...
So, this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
Umbrella warfare, I guess. Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and...
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that more back?
It's been so long.
Well, you... Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kiria. Is he...
Hold on. We have guests.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emily? Is that... I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine.
Oh, well,
Art I've taught many and who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friends.
And these two gentlemen?
Of course. We're perfume merchants from Fontaine. I'm Oud, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends.
Yes.
Merchant brothers?
You must be here to look for the August flower then.
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a goose? Anyway,
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in. I commissioned a few errors. That being said, some of them were one of a...
No, I don't think so. Auguste is even more... Although, could there be a
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The Auguste flower is back.
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to imitate.
well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
No. By the time they realized, compared to things we...
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out.
We don't have much to go off of. You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit?
Ooh, you've got the keys to the room?
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage ahead of the exhibition, you see. I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute, but by the time Emily wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess...
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plants. Although...
Well...
Of course.
All right, then. I'll prepare...
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
No, that's we work closely with the essential oils of...
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room's Blaze. Ahem.
Yes.
All right, then. Where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
Hello.
still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back. Could I trouble...
How...
Is that so... Mr. Ood, Mr...
Hey! What are you doing?
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar!
Who did this?
Kyria.
Hey, Edgar?
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
I checked.
Oh, but that's impossible. Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit.
Watch out! That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really? Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked Edgar? Well, we looked all over.
The most important thing we can do now is focus.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain... He's still unconscious and inducing vomit. Ah, yes. This... But first, Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien...
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid...
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators. There were 4 people in total. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower. The 2 brothers. In the end,
And what does that have to do with us?
every time your brother called you...
Ah, Miss Emily, you have a bright... What?
Amber wine is a perfume unless... Until
Emily, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed, but Master's life, if Master's attacked, so I'd like to
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucien, if this will help us find Kiri. You were right, Miss Emily. There were 4 of us at the... Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking. Settled us.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in...
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru, so... Still, Master was depressed. That's how I met him. My parents... But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Like us, but before the...
But destroying all that...
It didn't matter at that point.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own.
The name wasn't mentioned.
Kyria was Vijava. He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped Vijava, kept him. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs.
So you.
Vijava, if she left something behind.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean
Poison? No. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kyria forced him to drink perfume. We're not looking for... We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. As long as we...
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria during your.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway...
Well, at least we're able to say for.
Well, glad to... Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With every...
Yes.
You think so too? That does seem to be the case. Pity we don't have more. But based on Sylvain's tone.
the way you exposed them like that? Just based on a hunch? That was all right.
Oh, yes. That's because most of the patients I encounter already.
So you're a forensic doc?
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marechaussee Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave. In fact, with just a small basically, I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to I'll stay here and continue.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? Edgar was... He's the most famous
Sheriff, have you received any reports of...
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tainari? Do you
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene.
but she said she's not a real doctor.
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the not to mention the fact. As for me...
Oh, that's right.
From Emily's letter, certainly, but I didn't have time to look I have friends in Sum. I'll leave you and Emily to watch over things.
My time with... Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with Emily's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak, but with a bit more rest, he should regain My chemical analysis of a goose also went smoothly, although it certainly raised some questions. I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal
Elemental energy?
hard to say. I had to use one unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy. As for whether masters...
Oh, that reminds me. Oh, Paimon thought he might have... excuse me? Is Miss Emily here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces!
Kale. Oh, of course. Tainari's... And please, no need for...
Oh, okay. Did Tainari send you here, Cole? Yep. Anyway, based on what they reviewed, Master considered that possibility as well. But the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but also couldn't find a match. How is that possible?
It's starting to...
Hey! Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back, do you?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now... It's locked?
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Emily, Emily, my brother.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
No, that's not...
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door?
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He may have made some bad decisions.
Good person or bad. The death of a loved one is all the moments he shared with his brother.
If Kiria really was behind...
Lucian can no longer... Traveler, I've got things...
Who would have thought? Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover...
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some... I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was some...
Then, would you...
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner...
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead bodies, but... And the windows are shut tight too. Seems... Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can.
So, did you find anything?
can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait,
No, his reaction to the loss of his...
then what could have happened last night?
I agree.
Umbrella warfare, I guess.
Mr. Sylvain,
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful. We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise!
so, no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room. No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated, and his skin was flushed. Very similar to Master's symptoms after the attack. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely.
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, it would have... No. Emily, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell...
No, I didn't find...
See? A goose is harmless.
That may be true for most people.
Master!
Edgar? You're up in a...
Thanks to Emily. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will...
Edgar!
Even if we could, no. He would never give up. Not if he's doing... That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus.
Oh, Fatus?
The Fatui. Well, that...
Ah, so you've already detected it.
Oh,
The August flower.
The Fatui delusion.
Born of a delusion. August...
that's enough, Edgar. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower. But no one knew how long it didn't have any...
So you decide...
Listen, unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar, you could use the product for decades and...
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit... that explains the Fatui, delusions, Auguste... If the Marechaussee Phantom discovered the connection between...
Ha! Auguste, what...
So there's bad blood?
What about Yelena?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the product, but before we could even put...
But if her goal was... Yeah, she could have just burned the flower beds and fled with her brother.
I thought about it for a long time, but everything she... One of the reasons they defected from the foot after arriving in Von...
So she couldn't flee with her brother?
If her true, the Auguste flower, so
the wealth you earned from...
most like. That's why Lucy...
But why is
I don't think he knew his... Yelena always wore...
Then all I'll need to do is tell Kiri... I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, it's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred.
Very true.
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, if we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking...
We were just trying to earn a bit of more. Lucien's crime Was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life? Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sent. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone. Such a headache.
The hotel could suffice. You could station, although with...
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I deserve this same. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. Say goodbye to my plants. As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some good... Would you be willing to grant that request?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia. No matter who you were in Fontaine or what crimes you committed, the man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility...
Yeah! All we know is that he uses a goose to poison people. But we still have no idea if he targets Sylvain.
That may be true. But what if we take...
Master, no!
So, if Kyria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance... In other words, you want to use us as bait.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk.
Afraid? I'm spending the As for the day...
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have your assistance as well, our chance of success...
I still have some reservations. But if you insist on carrying out this plan, I won't deny you my help.
I'll also keep watch.
Although I think Sylvain and myself should if Kyria noticed another person in the room, he might decide...
You mean if he doesn't...
If that were to happen...
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
This old pack of bones.
All right, we can...
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained.
What? He's the one who helped craft all the fragrances for our shop. He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet. Let's just wait and see what the court has to say.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about... Let's head back to the hotel and take a break. We... Emily, Sheriff Xian wants to talk to you and the Traveler about our plans for the Night Watch.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you...
Oh, that's very kind of you. But...
Oh, it's not... You seem very preoccupied with Kyria's revenge. If there's anything you want to talk...
Oh, Hey, Emily, Kale. Oh, are we? No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway. I've just been thinking. If Kiria has the capacity to commit murder while remaining completely undetected, there was just a single door separating them. If his intention was to target both brothers, then there was barely anything standing in his way. When I accompanied maybe Kiria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to experience the pain of losing a loved one before he completed his So did he attack Edgar as a warning then? To scare Sylvain?
Based on what we've heard about Kiria, that may very well be the case.
Losing his sister all those years ago. Whenever I get to thinking like that, I'm sorry.
There's nothing in all my years of cleaning up. Some of them even try to surround yourself with. So while you do Sylvain and Luke, answering those questions requires a lot of time and effort. I've witnessed, but generally speaking,
Once you're consumed by.
you're right. But that also makes us perfectly. I understand, Kiri.
Huh.
Emily, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for you to be out in a...
A little exercise. Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I've grown attached. I would imagine Sheriff Sham is here for a more important reason.
The Night Watch!
That's right. I've stationed some of my... Exactly. After some discussion, we concluded that Sylvain and Emily's expertise is sure to come in handy in a...
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Not a peep. Has Kiria given up on his revenge? Guess... Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive was simply forcing Sylvain to confess his crimes. No, that can't be right. If all he wanted, there must be something we're missing.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, look, oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, glaze... Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear? Someone was attacked.
It was the older of the merchant brothers, right?
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy was...
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Lucy, and
Listen up, everyone. This is an active crime scene.
it's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a glimpse.
Do you think it could be the work of an... I mean, how do you get away with something like that with so...
Keep it moving, everyone. No loitering.
I suppose.
You don't know that. Kiria already attacked you once, and you survived. Perhaps he doesn't
You were the...
Even if I wasn't there, Tainari was also in the vicinity. He would have been able...
Is that so? I have But Kiria has it really
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kiria himself.
Well, I hope... Emily, There's something else I'd like to ask of you. With everything that's happened, holding the exhibition is off the table. But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Some of them thousands of miles away from their homeland. Whether Kyria gets... I know it's...
Of course, ma'am.
Really? Now
Sheriff Sham still...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting.
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emily's... Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone now, too. After listening to be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that.
The key clue was right in front of us the entire time. Let's go. We'll show you where the... Wasn't this incense originally in Lucian's? This is it!
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before. It's a
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emily, you're back!
Exactly as
a flower that only blooms at night.
Exactly. That's why Kyria chose the...
If applied to the outside, you would still be able to smell a goose. If applied to the outside... that doesn't sound right. There's a sticky substance. If you stick the petals together...
That's right! He applied a diluted form of slime condensate to the petals to stick them together, and enclosed a sample of agouste in this. That way, the agouste... However...
And Kyria could
By the next morning, the sample of agouste would
Wait a second. You're telling me this version of agouste is so toxic, inhaling the minute amount trapped. And how did Edgar even...
That's because agouste is just as dangerous now as it was all those years ago. The level of toxicity has never changed. Only a...
you mean... That can't be right.
I wouldn't use the word... You can think of it this way. It's not that Sylvain and Lucian are innately sensitive to elemental energy, but that Kyria found a way to ensure that they would be.
The incense I smelled earlier seemed familiar. In Sumeru.
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial...
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to... yes.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense in...
Flowers were pretty important to this plan, huh? The glazed lily is native to Liyue. It would be completely unnatural to have one here in Sumeru if it weren't for the exhibition. What a coincidence.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was He probably used the Mora Yelena left him, don't you think? That money was supposed... But in the end, It was just a tool for his revenge.
There's a saying among but up until this point, we have but because he's been disguised as someone else this entire time.
The more is spent to rent out, it all points to one Kyria and Ed.
But Kirya was only in his teens back then. Eggers lived here.
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. But before we could even react, do you think Kyria can—
I need you to think very carefully about this. Are you certain that
I mean, Mr. Edgar was so frail. I don't see how he could have moved that fast.
It would seem Master decided to tap into an ill-advised source of power.
What? But that's so dangerous.
But why?
No. If his aim was to target everyone who had a hand in Yelena's death—
If he left Sylvain alive yesterday, not out of a desire to see him suffer, but to confirm the truth about—
then—
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
we should hurry before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
A ghost!
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath.
How could...
This is terrifying.
Coming at ya! No! Don't come any closer! If we go any further, we'll be out of Port Ormond.
It's all right. I can detect a... It's this way. Please, follow me. The scent is getting stronger. This must be the place.
Coming at ya! I'm loving this treasure hunt.
Oh! O's! Are you all right? Were you in...
No, I'm all right. I was just...
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, This feeling.
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress of the chase, combined with the impact of the environment.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar is still in there. He taught my sister. He's a good man.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen to me.
But how is that? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort to Curia used a delusion to bring back the Auguste flower, corroding his body in the process.
No. He couldn't have.
And what if the I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Curia killed the real Edgar in Fontaine while Edgar was the new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire to let go of the past. And Sumeru, as the years went by, he removed his disguise.
That explains why he aged himself.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that kind.
What you really need is to get out of here.
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how slight, should not be treated lightly. I know how to relieve your... I'm sure Curia...
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our brief exposure to a goose, this leads me to believe those blessed with a vision... Actually, I hate to trouble...
Thanks. Hear that?
Traveler, for someone whose only purpose...
Don't worry. This isn't... We're not going to let... Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy. Overruled. I've never seen these scenes before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff. Reconstitute!
Whoa, look at all the Auguste flowers! There are so many of them. Can't believe...
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon. Using a delusion comes at a cost, not just time.
But what? He only needed a few bottles of Auguste...
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the... But Curia betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his... for someone with nowhere to call home.
Neutralize! A little ambiance!
Laid bare. Everlasting as the moon!
A plant that destroys seeds. Huh. Quite the ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared.
Body and... Body and mind. Time to act. Body and mind.
The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers...
Did they catch up that... No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter. This is far enough.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all those... Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion... The reason why you set your garden... I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have come look. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Yelena!
Emily? I'm alive. No.
That was an illusion.
No. The amount of oku, a fake. But
We started making the preparations last night with one goal in mind, to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedarwood, rounded out with a base note of agarwood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better, right?
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emily?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste?
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed was the easiest way to—
Impossible. If Auguste...
It was a combination of, but recently,
Rainbow roses.
Auguste was created perfumery to the mythos surrounding Auguste.
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is possible to make an accord, but the meaning you believed in its divinity and grand. Your obsession with Auguste is—
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, so, since you've been... That means the news of
Yes. If we hadn't, you might have resorted to the delusion out of desperation, or continued—
Who knows?
I know if you had all the crimes—
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to justify my action. I did.
Careful, everyone.
Looks like
Of course, Master.
the
scent of Auguste. So, as I was—
You're saying Yelena designed Auguste to have the scent.
Rainbow roses, but if you—
Rainbow, Yelena.
Time to act.
Did you know? Miss Emily's releasing a new perfume! Right, I heard about that. I think it's called
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're...
I was hoping to release. I just hope it won't become the source of. I did. Although, also,
Of course! Oh, it smells great!
it's all right. Besides, when it comes to perfume,
Right! Do those flowers have some special... A language of flowers? Oh, we've heard of that before!
what each flower after returning to Fontaine, I did some. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena always.
You think Kyria knew about that?
I paid him a who knows? Yelena is gone. Even if that avenging her death. Kyria cultivated his revenge like a flower. He was committed to making it bloom, even if in the end, it didn't bear the fruit he was hoping. In any case, thank you for saving my life. Love and hatred are approved when someone dies, but even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we give, and yet at the very.
Art is the key ingredient in Fontaine. So annoyed.
You smell.
Ad Astra Abyss. Thank you for completing today.
Go on. You have my undivided attention.
Exactly. But none of them believed me.